thought and thinking. For example, some unnecessary thing may happen in our life. We want to forget the incident, but even we want to forget the incident, some thought may come about it against and again. It is we are not consciously thinking, but unconsciously the thought will come. So what we have to do like this? But we have nothing to do with that. The matter is maybe over, but we need not do anything with related to that thing. But anyhow, the thought will come again and again with related to that. So that is thought. But if you write about the thought, and even though we do have work about that, we unconsciously, consciously we write upon the thought, and we consciously want to do something. I must have done like this, I should not have done like this. If you consciously do that, that is thinking. So with related to that one, we have to avoid the conscious thinking. Thought, we need not worry about that. We have to give total freedom to the thought. But at the same time, we need not think about that. The thinking is different and the thought is different. So whether the thought may be positive thought or negative thought, whatever it be. So we have to take it as we have to give total freedom to that. If we give freedom to that, the thought will come and go away on its own. But if you write about the thought and make it into thinking, it will not go away from you. It will create a vicious circle around itself and creates more problem. It becomes powerful. So we also creates power to that. Otherwise, whatever thought comes and goes away naturally. We need not worry about it. Context, we have to have an idea about what is mind, what is intellect, and what is the subconscious mind. But in our scriptures, it is known as Manam, Buddhi, Siddham. Manam means mind. Buddhi means the intellect. Siddham means the subconscious mind. So in this way you can classify. So if you understand the relationship between the mind, intellect and the subconscious mind, you can have an idea. For example, we are working in a government office as an officer. At once we have a group of holidays for 5 days, and we have to spend the 5 days of holidays in a different way. We may think we have to go to some hill station, or you may get to some abroad or anything for 5 days tour, or go to a pilgrimage, or you may spend the 5 days for repairing work of our house. So we may have some different ideas. The mind is responsible for giving many ideas. So the various ideas is given by giving by our mind. That is Manam or mind. So out of the many ideas, we have to select one thing. So this is good. We have to take this for action. So out of the 5 ideas, we cannot execute all the five ideas. Out of 5 ideas, we have to select one. The selecting portion is known as the buddhi or the intellect. So the intellect is the selective part. The total is known as mind, but anyhow the function of the selective portion is known as the intellect. And the suggestive portion of our mind is mind. And the selective portion, the portion who is functioning of doing the role of selection is known as the intellect. So if you select something for the execution of the action, we have some energy. The energy will be supplied from the subconscious mind. So that is the siddham. The siddha. Siddha is the subconscious mind, where is the storehouse of our energy. And whatever you select, the energy flow will be coming from the subconscious mind. And you can execute the action successfully. And what is the relationship between the intellect and the subconscious mind? That you have to see it separately. For example, you are walking in a street, and 100 meters away from you, some crowd was standing there. You do not know what is going on within the crowd. Some crowd alone is there, do not know what is going on there. And your mind is saying, we have to go there and look what is going on there. Your mind is telling. But the mind will not say something, only one thing alone. It will say different thing. So another mind is telling you that, no, we should not go there. The crowd seems to look, some unwanted persons are there. They look, some unnecessary elements are there. We should not go away there. We may avoid the crowd. We may take some other route. We may avoid the place. The mind says something like this. The first thing it said like that, you have to go towards the crowd. The second part of the mind told you that we should avoid the thing. So you have to select. The intellect has to select either the first one or the second one. The first option is to go towards the crowd. And the second option is to go away from the crowd. So you have to select either to go towards the crowd or to avoid the crowd. So you have to select something. The intellect has to select the one. If you select the one, the energy flow will be what you select for. According to that, the energy flow will be there. For example, if you select the first choice, first option, the first option is to go towards the crowd. So the energy has to come to execute the first action. What energy is required to go towards the crowd? So some interest alone will take you to the crowd. So the subconscious mind will create some interest to go towards the crowd. So it creates some interest. So if the subconscious mind creates some interest to go towards the crowd, so you naturally go towards the crowd. Suppose if the intellect takes the second option, select the second option. The second option is to avoid the crowd. So if you want to avoid the crowd, what energy has to come to avoid the crowd? Some aversion or fear. If you have some fear or aversion, then naturally you will avoid the crowd, or you will go somewhere away from the crowd. So such kind of energy will be supplied from the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind will not have any idea. So whatever idea your intellect creates, according to that some energy flow will be there. So you need not correct the subconscious mind. So the intellect alone is in our hand. So if you select something, if you decide something, according to your decision, according to your conclusion, so the natural energy flow will be coming naturally. You need not create the energy field. You need not activate the energy field. It will naturally come from yourself, and you need not worry about that. For example, if you take the same example, the crowd is there. The crowd looks, some unwanted elements are there. It is not a good crowd. So you naturally you come to a decision that you may avoid the crowd. But at the same time, some action was going on there. Some action, some vehicles are met with some accident there, and the crowds are surrounding around the action place, and the persons standing there, maybe unwanted persons, unwanted elements may be there, and you want to avoid the crowd. But at the same time, the car related to the accident is your friend's car. So what will you think? Naturally you will think, I want to help I want to do some good thing to our friend. So if you think, if you want to do some good thing to your friend, some energy flow will be coming to you to help your friend. Even though the unwanted situation may be there, some energy will be coming to help to your friend. So you will go, such with the help of the energy field, you can go towards the crowd. Even though some unwanted elements may be there, you don't mind that. So some energy will be there to help your friend. So whatever decision you take, the energy will flow accordingly. You need not worry about the energy field. So energy field is not under our control, not under our guidance. So what you decide, so decision is in our control. So the intellect is in our control. So you have to, your authority, you can make use of authority, and you can decide, you have come to a conclusion. Thereby the energy flow is not under our, even though it is not under our control, what you decide according to the energy flow will be coming naturally. For example, one person is in a serious illness, for example some cancer attack, and the doctor has told him that no medicine is working, and you have to count the days, around 1 or 2 months you will go away, you will pass away. And the patient also understands the position, and he decide we have to accept the death. So he is peaceful. There is no problem, because there is a thing. We have to avoid the fate. We cannot avoid the death. It is he come to a conclusion like this. So he is ready to face the death. Some 1 week or 2 days later, the same physician, the same doctor comes and told him that some new medicine has come. You may have a chance for your recovery. He told like that. Now the patient become agitated. Even though the death is the thing, he is calm, but he has the chance of recovery. He become agitated. Why? Because he cannot come to a conclusion. Because before that, he accepts that even death itself. When he accepts the death wholeheartedly, it does not, the unnecessary energy will not come. But here, some chance of recovery is possible. So he cannot come to a decision. That may become, may not come. So here the mind alone is functioning, not the intellect is not functioning. So in the intellect functioning, there will be some relationship between the energy field and the intellect is very easy. But when the mind is functioning, sometimes he may accept death, sometimes he may not accept death. So in a confused state, some unnecessary energy, some tension, problem, everything will become. So we cannot have a correct decision. So whenever we have some correct decision, the energy flow will be very natural. We need not worry about the energy field. We need not try to correct the energy field itself. So whatever we are having in our mind, in our idea is that the intellect alone is in our hand. We have to relate, we have to deal with the intellect and come to a correct conclusion. And everything will be all right.
We have a question from Guruji, we have a question from Venkatramana. Sir. Sir, I am reading your question. Where enlightenment happens? In mind, soul, Atma, physical body, consciousness, or where? One question. Is it useful for individual or society or nation or world?
So it is only in our intellect. So because now we are classifying the intellect and mind. So here enlightenment is happening within the intellect. So intellectual one. So you have to come to a conclusion. The conclusion means you have no work psychologically. If you come to a conclusion like this, you allow the mind to function on its own. If you allow the mind to function on its own, that is the liberated state of our mind. So in this liberated state, naturally it will help to your life. And when you are okay, it will help to the external world also. For everything, it is good.
What do you answer, sir? Anybody else?
What is ego? There are different versions of the concept of ego. What has ego got to do with enlightenment? Is there any role for ego in the subject of enlightenment or not?
Actually, we understand everything with the help of our thought. For example, I look at the phone. If I don't have any thought, I cannot identify this is a phone. So the help of the thought alone, we can identify something. For example, the same example, this is a phone. I am looking at the phone. So how many thoughts are needed to recognize this is a phone and recognize myself? Is it two thoughts is necessary to recognize myself? I am looking at the phone, or single thought is enough to look at identify the phone and for myself? So single thought is enough. So even a single thought can identify the observer and the thing observed. So each and every thought has the division just like the observer and the observer. So it takes a role like this. So whenever there is a segment of thought, each and every thought has a role. It expresses itself as it is the observer and it is the observer. I am the experiencer and I have the experience. So with the help of each and every thought alone, we can understand anything, we can recognize anything. If we don't have any thought, we cannot understand anything. So whenever we have a thought, naturally we have some division. The observer has one portion of the thought, the other portion of the thought is the observer. That is the natural. If you do not have any thought, we do not have any understanding, we do not have any idea of anything. So each and every moment the thought is functioning. When we have the thought, this kind of observer or experiencer, everything will be there. The experience also will be there. That is the natural thing. But here, if you give some importance to the I consciousness I must be like this, I should not be like this, I am the most powerful person. If you have some idea about yourself, then we create some ego like this, some special pride upon ourselves, then it takes the ego like this. But if you do not condemn yourself, even though you are not even though you are not taking a pride for yourself, even though it is some eye consciousness is there, the eye consciousness may be considered as ego, but at the same time, it is not a disturbing factor. But if you take some pride upon yourself, taking some pride upon then it creates some nuisance with the other persons. It will not, you cannot manage, you cannot easily mingle with the other person. If you give some superiority to yourself or inferiority complex within yourself, then thereby your relationship with the other person will be disturbed. So it is only for the maintaining some relationship with the other person, how you are behaving like that. That is only related to the behaviors. But in the physical world is concerned, the ego is necessary. The separation is also necessary. Without separating yourself, for example, you are walking along the road, some bus is coming against you. Unless you differentiate yourself with the bus, you cannot escape from the bus. So you have to separate the bus from yourself. Then only you can act accordingly. And you have to get away from the bus. So in the external world is concerned, the thought is a necessary one, and the division is also necessary one. But the same action remains within yourself. For example, I have some fear within myself. And if you when the fear is coming, fear alone is there. But when you recognize the fear, you recognize the fear through your thought. When you recognize the fear through thought, so the division is there. I am having the fear. I am having the fear of experience. So they experience something, the experiencer is also something. But it happens only because of the thought process. So wherever the thought process is there, the division is there. The division is natural. But this division in the psychological world alone is a problematic one. In the external world, the division is a must. The observer and the observed is a must. Without the division, we cannot act in the external world. But in the psychological world, the division creates problem. Then the division creates some responsibility to set right the experience. I want to free from the fear. I want to set right our anger, set right our emotions. I have to regulate our actions, regulate our emotions. In this way, we have to struggle within ourselves. So psychological world is concerned, this ego means some responsibility within yourself. So but the responsibility to outside world, the responsibility is a must. But in the psychological world, the responsibility is the problem. So in this way you have to understand.
Namaskar Guruji. Thanks for coming to Hyderabad and blessing us. My question is, what about relationships? We have relationships in that if we just observe, it is not possible for us, like our people like us. We have to involve in that. If we get involved, again our mental peace is getting disturbed. So say like our kids and all, yeah, our spouse and all. So how to, we have to leave it out them if they do anything wrong or this thing, we have to leave it out and be in our mind or what? That's my question.
So physically, when we have to face some problematic thing, naturally we will have psychologically some reaction will be there. For that, externally you have to correct something. But psychologically, we have to take it natural. Some reaction, all reaction happens psychologically, we have to take it naturally. whoever will be in that position, this kind of reaction will be coming. So that is natural for each and everybody. So you need not worry about that. We need not try to correct any emotions. So psychological emotions are natural. So we need not correct any emotions. But at the same time, we should not leave the external world. For example, your kid may destroy some bureau with a stick. You may be affected psychologically, but at the same time, you need not correct your psychologically. But at the same time, you have to correct the kid not doing the bad thing. So external world is concerned, we have to do the next necessary thing. But psychologically, we need not do anything. We have no duty to correct ourselves. So whatever you feel psychologically, if you give total freedom to the psychological functioning, it will be all right on its own. You need not correct anything. Physically, you have to do something.
My question is, what is the difference between samadhi and enlightenment? And the second one, just now the preaching told enlightenment is the intellectual process. So could you please?
Actually, samadhi is a kind of state. There are many states. In the scriptures, it is said like that: manolaya, manonasam, manolayam, manonasam. So actually, manonasam deals with the liberation. Liberation means it is not, manolayam means a frozen state. So when the mind is in a frozen state, there are many kind of states are there. One of those states is samadhi, is also a manolaya. But it is nothing to do with the enlightenment or liberation. But the enlightenment is the psychological understanding, so intellectual understanding. If you understand, the understanding means you have no work psychologically. If you find you have no work psychologically, that is understanding, that is the enlightenment. But the liberation is not an intellectual process. Liberation is the natural functioning of our mind. The natural functioning of our mind is liberation. But we have to understand intellectually. What we understand intellectually, the understanding that we have no work psychologically, that serves as enlightenment. And it helps the liberation. That is the natural, it helps the natural function of our mind. The natural function of our mind is liberation. For that we have to understand. The very understanding, and all understanding is related to our mind. So you have to intellectually understanding, intellectually come to a conclusion that you don't have any work psychologically. If you come to a conclusion like that, such conclusion is known as the enlightenment. Now, samadhi sultan.
It is a question from Idros Saxena. The question is, I and we all come here for enlightenment. Please help us or grace all of us. What change came after enlightenment in us? What is the difference between both?
என்னோட சொல்லுங்க அல்லது என்ன காட்டுங்க அப்படின்னு. I and we all came here for the enlightenment.
Yes.
Please help or grace all of us.
Okay.
What change came after enlightenment in us? What is this difference between both? So, if you design your mind, if you design the function of your mind consciously, then you are designing your mind. So if you are don't designing your mind for the functioning, so that is, if you come to a conclusion like this, that is enlightenment. So if you design your mind, this must be function like this should not function like this. If you design your mind like this, then you are disturbing the natural function of our mind. So the natural function of our mind means it must function on its own. Actually it is functioning on its own. You are not designing your mind. But you think that you are designing your mind. Actually you are not designing your mind. You are not, it is functioning. your all thought comes on its own, all emotion comes on its own. You are not creating your thought, you are not creating your emotion, it comes on its own. But you think you are having your thought, you are creating your thought, you are creating your emotion, but you think like that, but you are not creating it. You are mistakenly that you are holding some responsibility as if you are creating thought, as if you are creating your emotion, but actually you are not creating anything. It is comes on its own. So you have no business with the psychological function of your mind. So you are wholeheartedly accept the natural function of your mind. So if you are wholeheartedly accept the natural function of your mind, the mind will function on its own. So if the functioning naturally, so you can feel the difference between that. Before that, you take some responsibility for the action of your mind. Now you are not taking any responsibility for the function of your mind. Even though you take the responsibility or not taking the responsibility, the mind is functioning on its own. But when you not taking responsibility, you wholeheartedly accept and feel the natural function of your mind. So that is happening after understanding and not understanding like this. So here the understanding is matters. If you understand, you have no work. It is functioning naturally. That means it is even though you understand it or not, it is functioning naturally. It functioning on its own. But only you are understanding the natural function of your mind. And everything is in your hand. Everything is in your understanding. No grace is necessary. Your grace alone is enough. Your own grace is enough.
Your understanding is enough. Your grace is helping you to get enlightened and liberated. Is it okay or anything you have to ask about that?
That one grace is enough.
Your grace is your understanding is enough.
There is also grace.
Okay. Right. Anybody else? Nothing else, sir?
What is
No.
enlightenment is also it's a own process and actually we have come here. Enlightenment is also like we got any thought like that. It is the own process.
So when you have some doubt, you have to clear from the doubt. So that is your so you have, when you feel you have some doubt, you have to clarify it. But so it is in our hand. But the liberation is not in your hand. Liberation is natural. But when you have some idea about that, then we are executing the idea. All execution the idea with related to enlightenment or liberation, we are doing something. We are taking some work in our way. So psychological world is concerned, no work is necessary. So we have to put down all the work.
For the enlightenment, we have to do any sadhana or it's a
So doing some sadhana it is maybe a preparatory one. It is not related to the actual core. It will not touch the actual core. But whoever practice many things, after giving up all the practices, then only they got enlightenment and liberation. So that is the natural function of our liberation. That is the natural function of our enlightenment.
Please, enlightenment, please. Please come here. Let's go.
Enlightenment is doing state or being state?
Enlightenment.
Doing state or being state? Enlightenment is doing state. You have to do something for it to achieve enlightenment
So
or
enlightenment
being state.
Yeah, the enlightenment being state or doing state
being so. Enlightenment is a doing state, because you have to work, you have to understand, you have to inquire, you have to because inquiry is necessary, you have to find out. So it is a doing state. Liberation is a being state. Liberation is a happening. Liberation is the natural state. Enlightenment is some created state. Enlightenment you have to work. So work is needed. You have to work. You have to understand. You have to find out. So all these are necessary. That is a doing state. It's not a being state.
Liberation is the being state. Enlightenment is a searching state. Convention. Okay? Any further questions? Rajanagar. Any question Rajanagar? From Rajanagar and other people, sir, I am asking a question. We have understood that psychologically we cannot do or we should not do anything. Intelligence should be used for external world. So that is liberation. Enlightenment is only the medium.
Enlightenment?
Is only the medium. Like,
Medium.
yes. Knowing the
It's a
things,
process.
Understanding is a process.
Process.
Liberation is what the
Is the end.
end need of the thing, being
Yeah, yeah.
being after enlightenment. Okay, liberated.
Being of liberated.
Liberated. So is this the jnana? Is the ending?
Is the
This jnana,
dhyana.
knowledge. This knowledge, understanding that we can't do psychologically anything,
Hmm.
and intelligence should be used for external world.
Yeah.
Is this the end point, sir?
So,
Or is it enough? Or there is more to life? Like everybody is searching for
but
something more.
if you have any doubt, then you will be searching, or
Again
but
you will
if,
searching,
if
okay.
you have to doubtlessly understand, you have to come to a conclusion like this.
Okay.
You have no work psychologically, then that is the end.
That is the end. Okay. And we are searching for more here.
Think for-
After understanding this also we are searching for more. We want something supernatural thing.
So when you do something, we want to get something. So actually, liberation is giving up everything.
Yes.
You should not hold anything.
Okay.
Holding something, that is bandha. Bandha is getting something, gold is holding something. So actually liberation is giving up everything.
Any questions? Yeah.
Any questions, please? Please come. Come. Your question can be answered to many ways.
This point may not pertain to enlightenment, but nowadays there is a buzzword called as depression.
Depression.
Yeah. Everywhere it is being discussed. Film stars are discussing on television, news channels, in newspapers, magazines. Everywhere there is a big term as depression. Even United Nations is also speaking about that. What do you say about that? About this particular topic in terms of your subject?
So here, so everything is related to our intellect. This is only the external things. So mind, intellect, siddham. So here, for example, when you do not come to a conclusion, definite stand, naturally the mind alone takes the role of the intellect also. When the mind cannot come to a conclusion, naturally anything may come, depression or anything. But when you come to a conclusion, even death alone is the end. If you accept the wholeheartedly, if you decide death alone is there, no depression, no worry will be there. Everything will be easy. So here the mind is not functioning, the intellect is not functioning. So we have to give role. We have to give the role to the intellect. If the intellect comes to the role, nothing will be there. The depression will not be there. So only because of our mind, the mind is taking the role of intellect, and sometimes it says something, and sometimes they say negatively or positively, anything in the moving this and there, then only the depression or any negative feeling, everything will be there. So whatever thing you have to come to a conclusion, either you have to come to psychologically, you have to come to a conclusion that we need not worry about anything, we need not take any responsibility psychologically. If you wholeheartedly accept this also will function. So anyhow, everything is related to the intellect. If you are intellectually come to a conclusion or not is the matter. So you have to come to a conclusion. If you do not come to a conclusion, the wavering thought alone will be there. If the wavering thought is there, unnecessary thing will also be there. Inevitable.
Are you saying it is lack of acceptance at the end of the day which is creating this problem?
accepting the end of anything. If you come to a decision, if you do not come to a decision, it is natural. The wavering thought is natural. If the wavering thought is there, unnecessary emotions also will be natural. So otherwise you have to accept the depression itself wholeheartedly. If you accept the depression itself, then only, even though then also you will come to a conclusion that you have no work there. So anyhow the intellect has to come to function. You have to come to a decision that you have no work there. Identification of? Actually, the karma is divided into three parts: Sanjita karma, Prarabdha karma, Ahamya karma. So, karma does not mean Prarabdha karma alone. Karma means both Sanjita, Prarabdha and Ahamya. So, Sanjita karma means the total balance of our old karmas. We may have many births. We may end many karmas throughout our many births. The total karma is known as Sanjita karma. Out of the total karma, we take something for this birth. For the experience of this birth, we take some karma, that is known as the Prarabdha karma. And the Jodinam, Jadaham, all those things are deal with the Prarabdha karma, that is known as the fate of our this life. But out of this Prarabdha karma, we earn something more. The new karma is known as the Ahamya karma. But even though the Prarabdha karma is there, the Ahamya karma is also in our hand. When something happens according to a Prarabdha karma, you meet the karma through the Ahamya karma. So both join together. And your own present karma and past karma joins together and creates a new action. So Prarabdha karma alone is not your experience. Even Ahamya karma is also contributes something. So in the both joins together and creates new expression and new experience or anything. And so that alone is happening. Not Prarabdha karma alone is not happening. Not Ahamya karma alone is not happening. So it joins together and new karma is coming. New events are happening. So we are not restricted to the Prarabdha karma. The Prarabdha karma is a limited one. So Ahamya karma is most powerful than the Prarabdha karma. So your karma in your own hand is more powerful than the Prarabdha. So you need not worry about the Prarabdha karma. Some change may be possible.
Devaji, answer? Okay, sir. We have a question from Srinivas Sandala. What is forgiveness? Shall we forgive the persons who gave you so much mental and psychological pain? Or should teach them a lesson? Or simply think it's our fate and leave it to karma?
So it is so. For example, we have to forget the past. Unless you forget the past, you cannot proceed to the future thing. So anyhow, we have to wind up the past. For that, forgiveness is necessary. Then only you can move to the next thing. That means you should not mind the old thing. You have to give up the past, then freely move to the present and future. For that, you can make use of the karma. Everything happened because of karma. Something has happened like this. Saying like that, you can move to the present and future. For that, forgiveness may also helpful. You may make use of that also.
What do you answer, sir?
actually karma is only dealing with the situation. Some situation may be the reason for the situation, the karma may be the reason for the situation, but at the same time, you use your mind and intellect with related to the karma and related to the circumstances. And the intellect is in your hand. And with the help of, that means the intellect is related to the agami karma mostly. So agami, with the help of the agami karma, you can deal with the prarabdha karma.
But in spite of using the intellect also, sometimes things won't happen.
Unable to follow.
In spite of using the intellect also, things won't happen. Is it due to karma?
So karma means, bluntly speaking, which karma you refer. So karma means mostly you are dealing with the prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is only giving some circumstances. Circumstances is not the total effect. It's a portion. It is a portion of the effect. In the circumstances, how you behave, how you take the karma, how you act in the circumstances, that is left to the ahame karma. So ahame karma and prarabdha karma jointly comes, then only some result will come from that. The result is not related to the prarabdha, either not related to the prarabdha karma or not related to the ahame karma. It is a combination of both karma.
So even after doing some good also, if something bad happens, it is going for the, it goes with karma only.
So whatever you do, but your duty is to do the correct thing. So that is related to the ahame karma. The ahame karma alone is in our hand. And that you have to make use of that. And to the possible extent, we can change the course of the prarabdha karma.
Guruji, there is a question from Rajamani Garu. The question is, how do you overcome stress related to health issues about self or related to family members? I will repeat the question will be, how do you overcome stress related to health issues about self or related to family members? Also there is stress related to relationships.
Related to
Relationships. Relationships.
Relationship.
Yes.
Actually, even in all situation, each and every situation creates some reaction within ourselves. The reaction is natural. So for example, some good things happen before us, it will create some good reaction within ourselves. Some bad situation happens, naturally some bad reaction will be within ourselves. So here, what is our duty? Whether we have to deal with the reaction or whether we have to deal with the situation. So dealing with the situation is good. Dealing with the situation is correct. But dealing with the situation of ourselves, dealing with the reaction of ourselves is not good. So dealing with the reaction means struggling within ourselves. So if you are unconsciously struggle with yourself, doesn't matter. But don't do it consciously. Don't consciously struggle within yourself. But at the same time, but it does not mean that you should not deal with the situation. So external situation is concerned, you have to deal with it possible extent. But psychologically, you have to take it as a natural. Whoever will be in the situation, such kind of reaction will be natural. You have to come to conclusion like this.
Externally, we have to work out. Internally, the family we should not do it. Any more questions, sir? If you have any more questions, like after this session also, we are creating a group of this Hyderabad Bhagavad Party. So you can
are deeply interested, we can come and stay with us. We can have some direct conversation with us. Each and every month we are having a muham, some retreat for 4 days, but it that mostly in Tamil. Yearly once we are having it in English also. Mostly in January we are having some English retreat there, 4 days retreat. But at any time, but if you come with your family or friends and live with me, but we have to ascertain that whether I am available there or not. And mostly I will be that ashram. And staying facilities are there, and you can make use of our ashram, and you may stay with us and you can clarify doubts on anything. But in January we will announce some retreat there. It will be in English. Anybody can come.
Sir, please.
Samadhi affects. Is it helpful for enlightenment?
Actually, enlightenment is nothing will help for enlightenment, because liberation is the highest thing. Liberation is already there, but we are unnecessarily disturbing it. But whenever trying to regulate yourself, then we are disturbing the liberation. If you understand that you need not regulate yourself psychologically, you may regulate the world, regulate the situation, regulate your friends or anything, regulate the duties or anything, but don't regulate yourself. You live yourself naturally. You live yourself spontaneously. Psychologically, you must be spontaneous. But external world is concerned, you can manually what you can do. To a possible extent, you can work for that. Psychologically, you must be spontaneous, natural. For that, you have to come to a conclusion like that. So, coming to the conclusion, you need not do anything psychologically. This conclusion is known as enlightenment. But many things happen. So, many masters, many persons told many things related in the name of enlightenment. But if you seriously inquire like that, they are not giving any clear idea about enlightenment. But if you understand and if you inquire properly and come to a conclusion like this, everything is okay. Psychologically, you give okay to the psychological world. The enlightenment is here and now, and the liberation is already there. You need not worry about anything.
After listening to a subject, if people are not still enlightened, is it because of lack of understanding or lack of acceptance of your subject?
So,
What exactly has gone wrong?
whether accept my idea or not is not necessary, but you have to understand the truth. If you understand we have no work there, you have to understand it is a fact. If you understand it is a fact, then if it is very an idea and it is not at all a fact, then you may think some unnecessary things. We have to be like that, we should not be like that. If you take a choice within yourself, if you select something within yourself, then the struggle will be going on, the understanding will be lacking.
But the problem is mind is mischievous, in spite of knowing everything, still we do wrong things.
Because we want to be safe and secure within ourselves. But psychologically, if you try to be safe and secure within ourselves, then we are losing the safe and security thereby. Actually, psychologically, we must be open. We should not safeguard ourselves psychologically. Physically, we have to safeguard yourself. Psychologically, we should not safeguard ourselves. We must be vulnerable within ourselves.
And to add up something with Guruji, this is not enough. We have many books outside that you can buy, they are very cheap, and one book you can read it in 1 hour. It's very spacious and very generously the papers are used, not congested. And also we have online free books. You can download them and you can use them. And you have please, there is a register outside, you can give a number there. It will contain only this thing. Okay. Now, any more questions, sir? Please. All are case. Just a moment. 1 or 2 questions we'll meet outside. Meet me after.
Yeah, how we can make agami karma for removing this prarabdha karma, sanchita karma? How can we make that agami karma?
Ahame karma means your duty is the ahame karma. What you are having the duty, you have to take duty for yourself. You have to be totally free for yourself. That is the first karma. You have to do good thing for your own body, mind, everything.
How we can make understand it is good or bad? It is removing that karma, that all past karma.
So past karma means so that may be the prarabdha karma. But the prarabdha karma is not given to you as a punishment. So all karma is
That is reserved.
every karma is guiding you. You have to guiding you to the world. So everything is good. All karma is good.
Good.
You need not worry about the karma. You need not conquer any karma.
Okay.
You can make use of the karma. Make use of karma. But at the same time, whatever duty you are vested with, you can make use of the duty in a good way. That alone is enough. That is the ahame karma.
You are done with the questions. Sir Jayala sir will give a vote of thanks now to everybody. And we are grateful to vote of thanks will be done with Jayala sir.
My dear souls, dear souls, beloved Guruji, and all the Sevaks, I am extremely thankful for your august presence